Picture this: 3 a.m., Manhattan office, and a $2 million hedge fund trader breaks down crying during a $5 million profit day. His brain had rewired to fear success itself. But here's what they don't tell you about that breakdown. It wasn't random. It followed a predictable pattern that claims 95% of day traders within their first 2 years. Welcome to Trading Psychology Stick, where we decode the invisible forces destroying trading careers from the inside out. What you're about to discover might challenge everything you believe about sustainable trading success. This content is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always consult with qualified professionals before making trading decisions. As you watch this video, you might begin to notice how your own trading patterns mirror the stories you'll hear. By the end, you'll have a burnout-proof blueprint for 2025's volatile markets: stocks, Forex, crypto, futures, all covered. Skip this and join the graveyard of blown accounts. Stay and feel the transformation begin right now. Comment guilty if you've ever checked charts before your morning coffee, because that simple habit reveals something deeper about your psychological relationship with the markets. Revelation 1: The Invisible Death Spiral. What you call trading stress isn't actually stress. It's a psychological black hole where unchecked pressure from constant alerts sucks in your focus, relationships, and edge until nothing escapes. Your trading soul gets compressed into a singularity of self-doubt. Imagine Alex, our $2 million trader, sipping his 5th Red Bull while watching Bitcoin futures. "Just one more setup," he mutters, ignoring the stomach knot that's been growing for weeks. Dawn brings a panic attack during a minor dip, heart racing, can't breathe, completely alone. As you consider his story, you might begin to realize the spiral started months earlier with skipped dinners and obsessive backtesting sessions. Here's what Steenbarger's research reveals. This isn't random psychological weakness. Chronic cortisol literally erodes your prefrontal cortex, the same brain region responsible for rational decision-making. When you understand this process, you'll recognize why ignoring early warning signs creates what researchers call financial trauma similar to PTSD. Track your emotional profit and loss daily. Energy levels, sleep quality, relationship satisfaction. Notice how you can spot the gravitational pull before crossing the event horizon. Have you ever refreshed your USD at midnight, feeling dread rather than excitement? That's your brain telling you something important about the invisible forces at work. Revelation 2: Sabbaticals, the reset you fear. Now you understand the death spiral's terrifying pull. But before we dive deeper into the darkness, let me show you something that might save your career. And it's the complete opposite of what hustle culture teaches you. The best trades often follow periods of zero trading, for weeks at a time. Sabbaticals provide radical neural reset potential. Your brain makes 35,000 decisions daily before decision fatigue completely sabotages performance. Think of unplugging an overheated computer system, allowing all components to cool down and restore optimal processing function. Consider our exhausted trader forcing a complete market sabbatical. No charts, no financial news, no trading conversations for 2 full weeks. The tension builds, withdrawal symptoms, crushing FOMO, complete identity crisis. But here's the breakthrough. Insights emerge during the silence. Perspective naturally returns. Genuine enthusiasm reignites. His return demonstrates dramatic performance improvement across all metrics. Neuroscience research strongly supports sabbaticals for willpower restoration. Structured breaks enhance long-term performance rather than showing psychological weakness. They're strategic tools for sustained excellence over decades. Schedule mandatory weekly no-chart days and monthly strategy reviews. Structure your sabbaticals before burnout forces them upon you. Do you fear taking breaks as falling behind the competition? Discover how strategic rest creates power surges that follow renewal periods. But first, you need to understand how deep the psychological bankruptcy really goes. Revelation 3: Burnout equals psychological bankruptcy. Here's something even more disturbing than the death spiral. What you call tired isn't actually fatigue. It's bankruptcy in meaning's currency, where every trade drains your soul's account balance. Psychological bankruptcy manifests in 3 stages. Emotional exhaustion empties your motivation tank. Depersonalization hollows out even your winning trades. And reduced efficacy makes your best strategies feel futile. The market becomes a continuous auction for your sanity. Picture Sarah, London's rising multi-strategy star, nailing her technology shorts but thinking, why does this even matter? During what should be celebration drinks. When a family call gets interrupted by flash crash alerts, she breaks down, tears streaming, not from trading losses but from months of emotional absence from her own life. The World Health Organization's updated burnout definition reveals why this happens. Each trading loss erodes your identity, creating self-doubt, feedback loops that compound exponentially. High-stakes environments amplify this effect, explaining the 70 to 80% annual turnover rates at major hedge funds. Journal your "Why I Trade Beyond Money" every week. When you can't answer with genuine enthusiasm, you'll know it's time to refinance your psychological portfolio. Can you remember your last genuinely exciting win? Begin to treat your trades as experiments rather than judgments of your worth. But there's a biological solution to this psychological prison. Revelation 4: Biohacking your trading brain. What you're about to learn changes everything. Discipline alone isn't enough. You need biological optimization, creating minds unbreakable by market chaos. Optimize your neurological hardware for peak performance. Gut bacteria directly influence risk tolerance. Meditation literally rewires stress responses. Specific nutrients enhance cognitive clarity. You're a high-performance machine requiring premium fuel and meticulous maintenance. Imagine our stressed trader experimenting with lion's mane mushrooms, cold exposure therapy, and structured meditation protocols. Old destructive habits resist the new beneficial routines. Sugar cravings fight brain-healthy nutrition during losing streaks. The breakthrough: crystal clear, emotionally calm decisions during previously panic-inducing market conditions. The gut-brain axis directly affects risk tolerance. Chronically stressed traders crave inflammatory foods that further impair decision-making. Meditation physically shrinks your amygdala while strengthening prefrontal cortex connections. Forex traders handling volatile overnight gaps especially benefit from enhanced stress resilience. Implement micro-habits immediately. 20-minute morning meditation, eliminate processed foods during trading hours, cold showers for stress resilience building. Do you crave junk food during losing streaks? Lead yourself toward brain-optimizing nutrition that changes everything about your mental clarity. Now, let me show you what's really driving this self-destructive behavior. Revelation 5: Hustle culture, the digital lie that kills. But here's what they don't tell you about hustle culture. It isn't heroism. It's a psychological trap, rewiring your brain for self-destruction disguised as dedication. 2025's never-sleeping markets transform hustle into a Trojan horse, promising alpha through relentless grinding but delivering cortisol overload that increases your error rates exponentially. You become like a phone battery burning at 100% brightness, brilliant but destined to die quickly. Imagine Mike in Singapore, grinding 20 hours across global trading sessions, chasing what he calls ghosts of alpha. Energy drinks replace breakfast, modafinil substitutes for lunch. When his body finally rebels with crushing headaches during the London Open and shaking hands during perfect setups, he freezes during a flawless EUR/USD entry, missing $200,000 in profit. His brain simply couldn't process information after 72 hours of continuous operation. Neuroscience research shows elevated cortisol reduces alpha generation by 40%. Constant connectivity diminishes pattern recognition abilities, especially during overnight Forex sessions, when your cognitive capacity naturally declines. Cap your screen time to 6 hours maximum. Use airplane mode during designated sleep windows. Discover how quality setups on fewer trades beats grinding quantity across time zones. Are you pushing your limits across multiple time zones thinking it's dedication? Consider how sustainable energy focused on fewer, higher quality setups might transform your results. But the addiction goes even deeper than overwork. Revelation 6: Digital dopamine crash. What you haven't realized yet is that every chart refresh hooks you deeper into an addiction more powerful than casino slot machines. Your trading platform becomes your dealer, and your brain becomes the desperate customer. The dopamine crash works like this. Winning trades numb your reward receptors, transforming your apps into slot machines, where you need bigger and bigger wins just to feel normal. Your brain chemistry literally changes to require more stimulation for the same satisfaction. Picture Tom in his home office, surrounded by cryptocurrency candlesticks across 4 different apps. He refreshes obsessively, every 30 seconds on Binance, every 15 seconds on TradingView, continuously scrolling on his phone. The euphoria from wins fades to complete numbness, requiring 20% swings just to feel something. During Bitcoin's latest dump, his hands shake with dilated pupils, literal withdrawal symptoms from digital stimulation. App-based intermittent reinforcement creates the most addictive psychological pattern known to science, weaponized by developers who study casino addiction techniques. The blue light from constant screen exposure disrupts the sleep patterns essential for rational decision-making. Delete trading apps from your phone completely. Restrict access to desktop only with manual refresh. Take 15-minute screen breaks every hour without exception. Count your trading apps right now. More than 3 installed? That's addiction infrastructure, not trading preparation. Now here's the antidote to this digital poison. Revelation. 7. Purpose-driven trading. Here's the truth that might save your career. You started trading for freedom, not chains. Reconnect with that vision or watch the flame die completely. Purpose serves as your trading North Star. Beyond money, it represents legacy and deeper meaning. Think of trading as a garden where purpose provides rich soil, enabling sustainable growth over decades. Picture our burned-out veteran journaling his original motivations, rediscovering dreams of financial freedom and family security that now seem impossibly distant. Trading had become mechanical survival rather than passionate pursuit of meaningful goals, his breakthrough. Reconnecting with deeper purpose reignites genuine enthusiasm beyond mere profit-seeking behavior. Sustainable trading careers require meaning beyond monetary accumulation. When your wins represent progress toward genuinely meaningful goals, rather than just profit maximization, psychological resilience increases exponentially, the key insight for career longevity. Conduct weekly purpose audits. Write why you trade beyond financial gain. Losing touch with deeper meaning inevitably destroys long-term performance. Have you lost sight of your original trading vision? Imagine your life realigned with that authentic purpose. Feel the excitement returning to your daily market engagement. But let's be honest about what's really destroying that connection. Revelation 8. P&L identity disorder. Here's where things get dangerous. When you tie your self-worth to equity curves, you're setting yourself up for an emotional margin call broadcast to thousands of followers. Identity fusion with profits becomes exponentially worse with social media amplification. Every drawdown transforms into public humiliation and existential threat. You become a 1,000-piece puzzle where missing pieces represent your confidence, constantly judged by strangers who only see your highlight reel. Consider Jane, a Wall Street trader with 10,000 Instagram followers, facing a $30,000 loss while crafting fake victory posts for her audience. Revenge trading follows to maintain her image. Each subsequent loss cuts deeper, while she hides the psychological damage behind curated success stories. Her eventual breakdown, not knowing who she is without positive P&L and constant follower validation. Social media amplifies identity fusion exponentially. Highlight reels versus your private struggles create comparison pressure that can trigger severe psychological distress, requiring professional intervention. Journal your core values weekly, completely separate from both P&L performance and social media metrics. Know who you are beyond market results and follower counts. Have you ever posted winning trades while hiding your losses? That disconnect between public image and private reality slowly poisons your psychological foundation. And it gets worse when you're completely alone with these feelings. Revelation 9. The digital cave. Now you're ready for a truth that might shock you. Digital isolation isn't independence. It's slow-acting poison eroding your trading edge while making you feel efficiently modern. Remote trading creates dangerous echo chambers where your mistakes get reinforced by algorithmic feeds instead of corrected by human wisdom. Your brain withers without the sunlight of genuine connection. Your technical skills may remain, but your judgment deteriorates in isolation. Imagine Paul in his luxury apartment trading fortress, where monitor light provides the only illumination and social interaction limits itself to Discord channels and Twitter spaces. His wins echo hollow in the silence. Losses compound in complete isolation. No reality checks exist, just algorithmic bias confirmation, feeding him exactly what he wants to hear. His breakdown comes after an NFT catastrophe, sobbing alone with nobody who truly understands his world. Digital-only interactions don't provide the neurochemical benefits of face-to-face human connection. Genuine support reduces cortisol levels by 68% and dramatically improves decision-making, but video calls don't trigger the oxytocin release that physical presence provides. Build in-person accountability partnerships immediately. Schedule weekly meetings focused on emotional calibration, not just trade ideas and market analysis. Notice how trading doesn't have to be a lonely journey, despite what remote culture suggests. But there's something about modern markets that makes this isolation even more dangerous. Take a breath with me for a moment. I know this feels heavy, but here's the beautiful truth. Every trader I've shared these patterns with says the same thing. Finally, someone put words to what I was feeling. You're not broken, you're not weak. You're human, trading in an inhuman system. And that recognition, that's where your power begins. Now here's what nobody prepared you for. Your ancient brain treats AI flash crashes like saber-toothed tiger attacks, flooding your system with fight-or-flight chemistry that completely kills calm analysis. This creates an evolutionary mismatch where your survival brain can't distinguish between charging predators and algorithmic programs triggering 40% swings in seconds. Your amygdala becomes hypersensitive, creating false alarms that sabotage rational analysis in machine-dominated markets. Picture Mark sweating during an AI-triggered session, heart racing over a simple EUR-USD pullback. What should be routine retracement triggers full emergency system activation. Chronic alert fatigue wears down his nervous system until even minor volatility feels life-threatening. The climax. Complete paralysis during a perfect GBP/JPY setup, his brain flooded with stress hormones designed for physical survival. Uncertainty triggers the most intense stress responses because our ancestors who feared ambiguous situations survived longer. Dr. Steenbarger's solution. Mindfulness practices physically quiet these ancient alarm systems. This becomes essential survival skill in 2025's AI-driven volatility environment. Practice 4 to 7-8 breathing during live trades. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This manually overrides your nervous system's hijacking mechanism. Do you feel that invisible predator lurking during market uncertainty? Visualize yourself maintaining monk-like composure instead of caveman panic during the next EUR surprise. Revelation 11. Subtle red flags. You ignore. What's terrifying is that by the time you admit you need help, you've already accumulated more than 50 silent errors sabotaging every single trade. Red flags whisper before psychological storms. Irritability escalates to FOMO, then transforms into analysis paralysis, then erupts into complete breakdown. These are puzzle pieces that reveal approaching burnout to anyone paying attention. Consider Lisa ignoring her internal checklist. Insomnia, shortened temper, obsessive backtesting until dawn. She rationalizes everything as temporary stress while warning signals multiply exponentially. The climax arrives as an explosive outburst over a minor GBP loss, screaming at screens, throwing her headset, shocking herself with the intensity of her own reaction. Hedge fund research reveals exit patterns. Irritability, social withdrawal, and perfectionism consistently precede career-ending breakdowns. Early intervention prevents 90% of these psychological casualties. Conduct weekly emotional audits using a standardized mental health checklist. 3 or more red flags appearing simultaneously. Reduce your position sizes immediately, regardless of market opportunities. Is your emotional fuse getting shorter each week? Begin to treat these signals as valuable internal market data, rather than weaknesses to ignore. But here's the systematic solution that changes everything. Revelation 12. Anti-Burnout System Architecture. Here's what separates survivors from casualties. Motivation always fades. Systematic approaches shield you during your numbest, darkest moments. Psychological architecture includes energy management protocols, emotional position sizing rules, and meaning-based performance metrics creating resilience infrastructure. Think of it as a fortress protecting your trading longevity against internal and external storms. Consider our chaotic trader implementing weekly energy audits, strict screen time limits, and monthly purpose reviews. Old destructive patterns resist the new structure, Temptation grows to abandon systems during high volatility periods. The breakthrough: his systematic approach proves invaluable during a major stress test, maintaining psychological stability, while other traders panic completely. Performance metrics beyond P&L include energy levels, relationship quality, and purpose alignment in your evaluation system. This approach prevents 80% of career-ending burnouts according to comprehensive industry research. Build your mission statement, set maximum daily trading hours, implement weekly psychological audits, and conduct monthly strategic reviews focused on sustainability over maximum returns. Do you need protection from your own intensity? These systems create space for consistent excellence rather than volatile performance swings. Now, let me show you what makes some traders seemingly immune to these psychological disasters. Revelation 13. Panic attacks at $175,000 per year. Here's something that will blow your mind. Success triggered panic attacks that shattered his world while maintaining perfect silence to protect his reputation. The psychology behind this? Your brain starts linking success to increased risk exposure until success becomes scarier than failure itself. You become a psychological pressure cooker, exploding from internal steam with no visible external cause. $175,000 salary, luxury corner office, peer respect, perfect exterior hiding, complete internal dread. Winning positions begin triggering anticipatory anxiety as, what if this ruins everything, becomes constant mental dialogue. The climax: a massive winning trade triggers a full panic attack, hyperventilating, sweating, convinced he's having a heart attack, completely alone in his success. Anticipatory anxiety from success pressure creates impossible psychological standards. Your brain develops protective mechanisms that actively sabotage performance, creating financial trauma requiring specialized professional intervention. Track your emotional responses to winning trades, not just losing ones. When success starts feeling scary, reduce position sizes and seek qualified support immediately. Have you ever felt afraid of a winning trade's potential consequences? Transform that anxiety into valuable self-awareness data rather than letting it control your decisions. Revelation 14. The 80% blow-up rate. What they never tell you is this: most traders don't blow their accounts. They self-destruct psychologically first, joining the forgotten graveyard of unrealized talent. The statistics reveal psychological implosions, not strategic failures. Only 10 to 20% of traders survive the scaling process because mental collapse happens under pressure long before capital depletion. Hedge fund pods become fragile ecosystems that collapse completely when their human components break down. Imagine the fund war room during quarterly reviews, drawdown limits already breached, careers hanging by threads. Psychological pressure compounds every small loss into existential threat. The climax isn't explosive account destruction, but quiet exits, brilliant talent simply vanishing from the industry with potential completely unrealized. Survivor guilt affects even successful traders, watching colleagues burn out around them. High-pressure trading environments create lasting psychological trauma that explains the industry's massive turnover rates. Set psychological drawdown limits alongside your financial ones. When you hit emotional stop losses, step back, regardless of your P&L performance. Are you pushing beyond psychologically sustainable limits? Make sustainability your primary performance metric instead of maximum returns. But wait, there's something even more shocking about how isolation feeds delusions of control. Revelation 15, the Archegos effect. Now you'll understand why it wasn't the $20 billion loss that mattered. It was isolation feeding dangerous omnipotence delusions that made catastrophic collapse completely inevitable. Massive position sizes create tunnel vision, while isolation feeds grandiose thinking. You become a king on a crumbling throne where increased power decreases perspective, causing judgment failures that seem impossible from the outside. Picture Bill Huang's empire: concentrated positions soaring higher, confidence building exponentially. Position sizes grow beyond any rational limits while feedback mechanisms disappear completely. No dissenting voices allowed in the echo chamber. The climax: $20 billion evaporating in days as over-leveraged positions trigger unstoppable margin call spirals. Over-leverage creates psychological distortion, where risk perception becomes completely skewed. Isolation amplifies every cognitive bias simultaneously, making catastrophic errors feel like strokes of genius until reality intervenes. Balance your position sizes with external accountability requirements. The bigger your trades become, the more outside perspectives you need for mental clarity. Do large positions make your world feel smaller and more controllable? Reconnect with outside perspectives immediately for clarity restoration. Pause with me here. If you're feeling overwhelmed by these revelations, that's completely normal. Your brain is processing years of unconscious patterns in minutes. This isn't just information, it's transformation. And transformation requires time to breathe. Now let's discover how to build something better. Revelation 16, Emotional Intelligence Edge. What if I told you the greatest edge isn't predicting markets? It's predicting your psychological state and trading accordingly. Transform your trading from external market prediction to internal awareness mastery. Emotional intelligence systems help you recognize optimal versus compromised mental states. Think of it as psychological GPS guiding position sizing based on your internal weather conditions. Picture our seasoned trader realizing his biggest losses came from trading while psychologically compromised, tired, angry, overconfident, fearful states. He develops internal state assessment protocols before every single trade. Perfect technical opportunity arrives during a terrible personal day. Emotional intelligence prevents the catastrophic trade that technical analysis strongly encouraged. Buffett's secret isn't superior market analysis. It's sustainable psychological habits preventing emotional decisions across multiple decades. Boring consistency defeats exciting volatility in the long-term wealth-building game. Rate your emotional state 1 to 10 before every trade. Below 7, reduce position size by 50%. This prevents major losses while preserving capital for optimal psychological opportunities. How often do you check your internal weather before entering positions? Automatic emotional assessment dramatically improves trading consistency. Revelation 17, Compound Psychological Health. Here's something beautiful. Small daily psychological improvements compound exactly like investment returns, creating massive advantages over emotionally chaotic competitors. Psychological compounding works identically to financial compounding. Each sustainable practice day builds upon previous days, creating exponential improvements in decision, quality, and stress management capabilities. You're earning interest on your emotional investments. Visualize a time-lapse trader committing to psychological health as seriously as technical analysis. Year 1 brings small improvements. Year 3 shows dramatic resilience advantages. Year 5 demonstrates sustainable outperformance through consistency while competitors burn out and disappear from the industry. The most successful traders aren't the most naturally talented. They're the most psychologically sustainable. Mental health becomes your ultimate competitive advantage in decades-long careers rather than months-long sprints. Track psychological metrics as seriously as trading metrics. Chart your energy levels, relationship quality, and life satisfaction alongside P&L performance. Optimize all simultaneously for compound benefits. What kind of trader do you want to be in 5 years? Invest in psychological sustainability today for that future success foundation. Here's what lone wolves never learn. They don't survive trading. You need supportive packs during your journey and accountability during difficult periods. Your trading tribe serves as psychological infrastructure, accountability partners, experienced mentors, and understanding peers who grasp the unique challenges of market participation. Think of it as a support network catching your falls and celebrating genuinely sustainable victories. Picture our isolated trader discovering a local trading meetup after months of resistance. "I work better alone," he insists. Gradual integration reveals how much easier difficult psychological moments become with genuine support and understanding. His performance improves through accountability and emotional calibration with knowledgeable peers. Community connection reduces cortisol through oxytocin release, while providing external bias, checking impossible in complete isolation. This becomes essential for maintaining perspective during extended drawdowns or dangerous winning streaks. Join or create communities focused on sustainable trading practices, share struggles openly, celebrate psychological victories, and provide support during difficult periods. Prioritize process discussions over performance comparisons. Does trading feel like a lonely journey? Open yourself to authentic community. It makes difficult moments significantly more manageable and sustainable. Revelation 19, the sustainability revolution. Now here's where everything changes. Everything. Because while other traders are burning out, while they're quitting, while they're joining that 80% graveyard, you're building something different, something sustainable, something that lasts. This represents a complete shift from intensity-based to sustainability-based trading approaches. Long-term wealth building requires psychological health optimization, not the burnout-inducing grinding that destroys most careers within just a few years. Consider our veteran trader realizing career longevity depends more on psychological management than pure market prediction skills. He shifts focus from maximum performance to sustainable performance over decades. The result? Consistent profitability across multiple decades while peers cycle in and out of the industry. Industry secret. Traders who prioritize psychological health over pure profit maximization consistently outperform over 10-plus year periods. Sustainability compounds exponentially, while pure intensity inevitably burns out. Make sustainability your primary performance metric. Ask, can I maintain this approach for 20 years? Before implementing any trading routine or strategy, always build for the long game. Are you building a sustainable career or unconsciously burning it down? Sustainable practices implemented today create the foundation for decades of consistent profitability. Revelation 20, your trading evolution. This isn't the end of your education, it's your evolution from reactive market victim to psychological master of market dynamics. Complete transformation means shifting from emotional market victim to psychological market master. Understanding that true edge comes from internal mastery rather than external prediction. This evolution requires conscious choice and consistent daily implementation. All 19 previous revelations integrate into one coherent system. Death spiral awareness, sabbatical scheduling, identity separation, biohacking protocols, digital detox, purpose alignment, systematic architecture, emotional intelligence development, community building, and sustainability focus. The traders who thrive across multiple decades master psychology first, markets second. When you control your internal state completely, external market chaos becomes manageable and profitable rather than destructive and overwhelming. Choose one revelation from today's presentation to implement immediately. Master it completely before adding additional elements. Sustainable behavioral change happens gradually, not through overwhelming system overhauls. Picture yourself 1 year from now, trading with calm confidence while others struggle with emotional volatility and psychological chaos. Feel that sustainable success. It starts with implementing one element today. You've journeyed through 20 mind-blowing revelations that completely shatter burnout's psychological grip. From invisible death spirals claiming 95% of traders, to the sabbatical reset you've been fearing. You've learned how digital dopamine crashes create addiction stronger than casino slot machines, and how P&L identity disorder transforms normal market fluctuations into existential threats. We've explored how AI market uncertainty hijacks your ancient nervous system, how isolation caves slowly kill your hard-earned edge, and heard real stories of $175,000 panic attacks triggered by success itself. The Archegos effect demonstrated how isolation creates catastrophic judgment failures, while systematic architecture showed you the fortress protecting sustainable careers. Picture yourself 6 months from now, sleeping soundly through market volatility because your nervous system remains calm and centered, sizing positions with surgical precision because emotional assessment guides every decision, building wealth that lasts decades through sustainable practices instead of burnout-inducing intensity cycles. If you're implementing your first anti-burnout protocol this week, comment "reset" below. Share your biggest revelation. Was it the early sabbatical insight, the dopamine crash realization, or the emotional intelligence edge? Let's build a tribe that holds mirrors for each other's psychological blind spots. Begin your transformation by hitting subscribe and the bell notification for weekly mindset mastery content that turns emotional roller coasters into steady wealth-building climbs. Next week, the neuroscience of trading confidence, rebuilding unshakable self-trust after major losses and psychological setbacks. Here's the final truth that changes everything. True edge isn't outsmarting markets. It's outlasting your own psychological shadows. When you master your internal state, markets transform from enemies into allies. Forex traders specifically. Has leverage burnout affected your trading? Share your EUR/USD psychological horror stories in the comments below. Your experience might save another trader's career. Start your transformation today. Choose sustainability over intensity. Your future trading self thanks you for the courage you're showing right now. Remember this, the market will always be there tomorrow. The question that matters, will you be there psychologically intact to trade it,